here talking about it, and the fact that you've come to some realizations is just a million times ahead of most people that are just kind of like sailing through their life and not going in the direction they want. So I'm just super proud of people that make any effort to change themselves. Okay, so say you set these goals for yourself, and say you reach your goals. All the goals you have, you reach them. We'll just say, are you going to be happy once you've reached all those goals? Weird question, right? Once you've hit all the goals you have for yourself, are you just going to be like, this is it? I've made it. Totally happy now. This is something that we don't often think about. We're like, okay, I have all these goals. We got to pursue our goals. Well, so once you get there, say you reach all of them, and are you like, oh? I'm going to have everybody stand up really quick, okay? So how many of you have any sort of a goal that's fitness related? Anything that's fitness or health related? Anybody have any fitness or health related goals? Most of you? Okay. Okay, so we have to be honest here. There's no wrong answer. But I want you to think about this for a second. Okay. Who in here is totally 100% happy, at peace, comfortable with their body? Just like, oh, I'm totally good. Okay, stay standing, honestly. Because you need to let this sink in. Nobody be embarrassed. I want you to look around. Seriously, look around. Everybody in this room looks great. There's people of all different shapes and sizes. So you're telling me that there is nobody in this room that is happy with the way their body looks. So think about that for a second. You can sit down. We are going to talk today, moving past last week, about positive body image and being happy with ourselves. So that's where we're headed, okay? We have to come to a few realizations before we can move forward to accepting ourselves, okay? The first one that you need to internalize is that it does not matter how fit you are. It does not matter how skinny you are. It does not matter how skinny you get. That is not what makes you happy with your body, even. So, I have been working with women specifically in the health and fitness industry for over 15 years. And this is one of the reasons I am obsessed with women's fitness and with things like this. And if you follow me online, I hope you get this vibe from me. I really try to encourage us to accept ourselves. Because I have worked with women who have competed in fitness competitions and won. I have worked with marathon runners. I have worked with bikini models. I have worked with people that you could look at under a microscope and you could not find one single thing that was wrong with their physical body whatsoever. And I have never, ever worked with a woman who at any point has said, I feel great. This is, like, I'm there. I feel great. I feel confident. I feel like I look great. Never. And I've worked with like hundreds and hundreds of women. So the first thing that we really have to understand is it's not this destination that you get to through diet and exercise, that you're just going to get to a point that you love your body. So I want you to internalize that first point. You have to come to that realization. First thing, okay? The second thing is that, you know that friend that constantly complains about the way they look or their body, or they say they're fat or they look hideous and they're beautiful, and you just want to be like, shut up. Like, we all have that friend, right? That just accurately, and you do not see yourself the way the rest of the world sees you. And you need to realize that. You can get to a point that you do, for the most part, or that you can at least recognize. But odds are, I guess I shouldn't say that across the board, but I can be 99.99% sure that when you look at yourself, you are not seeing what everybody else sees. You're beating yourself up. So, you're that friend. And whether you vocalize it to other people, and they hate you and they want you to shut up about it because they think you look great, I hope you don't vocalize it to other people. If you do, that needs to stop, okay? Don't put yourself down to other people. If someone gives you a compliment, accept it, okay? People don't give you compliments just to be nice. If I see someone and I'm like, oh my gosh, your hair looks great. Like I was walking by you and I thought your hair looked great, and that's what people do. They're not just like feeling bad for you and just telling you that to be nice. That they really mean that. So if someone gives you a compliment, you accept it, and don't go around bashing yourself to other people. And then we're going to talk about bashing yourself to yourself. But the external bashing, you can just stop that. I'm going to tell you now, you just need to stop if you do that, okay? Because you're that friend. You're that friend, if you're saying that to other people, that everyone else is just thinking, shut up, you look great. Because you do. So you need to realize that what you are seeing and what you are picking apart is not what everybody else sees. Okay, so that's the second realization, that even if you're not capable of seeing yourself the way other people do right now, you need to at least realize that the way you see yourself is not the way everyone else is seeing you. Okay? I told this story years ago. I went to Mexico, and I had just had my second son. And I was feeling like a little less than confident on the beach, but at least I had enough. I'm like, I'm not going to let this stop. I'm going to wear my swimsuit. I'm like, I'm going to be this empowered person. I'm going to go out on the beach and not be a wallflower. I want to go enjoy the sun, whatever. So I was feeling good that I had made that commitment out on the beach. And I'm laying there and I'm looking around, and the beach is just packed with tourists and travelers, whatever. And there were women of all different shapes and sizes. And I remember sitting there, and all these women were passing me by, and my thought was genuinely, oh my gosh, there's so many great-looking people here. Just cute swimsuits and super cute ladies and girls, and every girl that walked by me, I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, they look great. And then I started thinking a little bit more and being a little bit more observant, because I was feeling insecure about myself. And I was looking closer at some of these people. And I saw some girls that I thought looked amazing. And I couldn't see their abs. But I still thought they looked great. I saw some women that had a little bit of cellulite, like I did, in the back of my legs, walking down the beach in their suit. And I had noticed them earlier and thought they looked great. And I wasn't like, ugh. Oh my gosh, put that away. It wasn't anything that made me think they didn't look awesome in their swimsuit. There was some girls that had big back sides and really big muscular legs, and they looked awesome. They were turning heads as they walked by, right? All different shapes and sizes. Nobody necessarily the same. I thought all sorts of different body types and people looked great. And that's how people see the world, for the most part. We're the ones that are picking ourselves apart. Everybody that's looking at us walk by in our clothes, in our swimsuit, whatever, is like, oh, a cute suit. That's like it. So you don't see yourself the way other people do. And you need to realize that at the very least. And then, finally, another realization that I want you to come to before we can kind of move forward into how to change some of this behavior and some of these thoughts is you don't just happen to get a positive self-image because it just happens. You have to actively work at changing the way you look at yourself and talk to yourself, and you need to actively stop the negative from coming in, replace it with something positive, you know. And this frame of mind was a realization I came to about everything in my life years and years ago that totally changed my life. Like I said, when I left my first husband, I was like, poor me. All these horrible things have happened to me. I did everything I was supposed to do. I got an education. My parents were Mormon, and I was like a good church member. I married a guy in my church. It was all supposed to work out perfectly, right? And it didn't. And for a long time, I'm like, oh, my life is so horrible, and nobody understands all these horrible things I've been through. And I didn't take responsibility. I just went through life like giving everybody the middle finger because I didn't understand how horrible my life had been. And the day that I realized I can take active steps to change the way I think, the direction I'm going, it's totally up to me. Not just what I do, but how I think and how I feel. That changed my life when I finally accepted that. Oh my gosh, I'm so depressed and sad. I can change that. That doesn't mean it's easy, but a lot of times people are like, oh, this is making me sad. This is so hard, it's just causing me grief. Well, change the way you think, but you have to actively do that. Over and over and over again. A negative thought comes in, you push it out. You replace it with something positive. You go do something else over and over again. And that's one of the reasons why I was reminding you of your goals from last week. We're changing our attitude, we're changing our thought process, and we're changing our life. And it's not just going to be one change. You're going to have to change again and again and remind yourself, don't think like that. Think like this, right? So you need to get it through your head that to change the way you think and feel, you have to actively take decisive steps every day, every 5 minutes if you need to. Over and over again, you need to be active in changing the way that you think and replacing it with other things. So I deal with so many people that are like, you know, they just feel bad about themselves and they think, I'll run more, I'll eat less, no. You need to change the way that you think, and that's something you have to actively do, okay? So those 3 things are what we need to realize. Your body and the way that it looks has nothing to do with whether you're happy with your body or not. You don't see yourself accurately. You don't see what everybody else sees. You're way too hard on yourself, okay? And you have to actively change the way that you think. So it's an activity, always. So how are we going to do this, right? That's kind of the next step. So we've realized all these things, but now we want to change all these negative feelings, because one of the things that's really heartbreaking to me is, well, there's several, but a lot of times we let this negative body image or these insecurities keep us from doing what we want to do. And the only person you're hurting is you. Nobody else cares. Nobody is really paying that much attention. And this is what I love about the decisions you've made. This is life. This is it right now. You are living your life. It's not pretend. It's not the trial run. This is it. So when we're constantly like, oh, I'll do this later. I'll figure it out later. When is later? Like, this is life. You don't get later. So if you have stuff that you want to do that's important to you, you need to be doing it right now. And if you are letting insecurities keep you from doing what you want to do, you're just always going to be insecure and never do what you want to do. You know, like I have people, and at this point in my life I get frustrated because we're like adults, and I feel like with things like this, so Zumba class, I'll just use a very visual example. I have lots of people, there's people that come and they don't like it. People like different workouts, so that's cool. But I still have adult women that either won't come because they're too embarrassed to dance in front of a crowd. I'm like, really? Yeah, okay, you gotta get over that.
I did try to
Yeah, no, that is not okay. Or